Many of us know about the Ivy Leagues. We've heard all the names, but do you know the names of the people that those schools are named after? Like, those names come from a person, from rich people who started to fund universities as a way to basically stroke their own egos. Like, I'm going to start a school. I'm going to start a university. So in the years after the Civil War, there was this guy named Russell Conwell, who was a graduate from Yale Law School, a minister, and author of best-selling books, and he gave the same lecture titled Acres of Diamonds. He gave that lecture more than 5,000 times to audiences all around the United States. His message was that anyone could get rich if you tried hard enough, and that everywhere, if people looked closely enough, were acres of diamonds, a sampling of this lecture. I say that you ought to get rich, and it is your duty to get rich. The men who get rich may be the most honest men you find in the community. Let me say here clearly, 98 out of the 100 of the rich men of America are honest. That is why they are rich. That is why they are trusted with money. That is why they carry on great enterprises and find plenty of people to work with them. It is because they are honest men. I sympathize with the poor, but the number of poor who are to be sympathized with is very small. To sympathize with a man whom God has punished for his sins is to do wrong. Let us remember there is not a poor person in the United States who was not made poor by his own shortcomings. Yikes. Yikes. Talk about individualism. Conwell was the founder of Temple University. Russell Conwell, founder of Temple University. Rockefeller was a donor to colleges all over the country and helped to found the University of Chicago. Huntington of the Central Pacific gave money to two Negro colleges, Hampton Institute and Tuskegee Institute. Carnegie gave money to colleges and to libraries. Johns Hopkins was founded by a millionaire, merchant, and millionaires Cornelius Vanderbilt. Ezra Cornell, James Duke, and Leland Stanford created universities in their own names. Stanford, Vanderbilt, Duke, Cornell, these are all people. The rich, giving part of their enormous earnings in this way, became known as philanthropists. These educational institutions did not encourage dissent. They trained the middlemen in the American system, the teachers, doctors, lawyers, administrators, engineers, technicians, politicians, those who would be paid to keep the system going, to be loyal buffers against trouble. In the meantime, the spread of public school education enabled the learning of writing, reading, and arithmetic for a whole generation of workers, skilled and semi-skilled, who would be the literate labor force of the new industrial age. It was important that these people learned obedience to authority. A journalist observer of the schools in the 1890s wrote, "The unkindly spirit of the teacher is strikingly apparent. The pupils, being completely subjugated to her will, are silent and motionless. The spiritual atmosphere of the classroom is damp and chilly." The development of a factory-like system in the 19th century schoolroom was not accidental. It is not friendly. It is not conducive to real collaboration and like peer exchange. It is very much like a factory. All the seats usually face a certain direction. You look at the teacher, you don't talk to each other. It's like